Hello everyone, welcome to a new lecture in our course How to Use VI Like a Pro from Radionics. My name is Ahmed and this is section 4 of our course. Before I start, I would like to make a very important notice. From this section forward, we will begin using very advanced techniques and functions in VI. So I need you to have a firm grasp over the past lectures, all the techniques that we used, all the shortcuts, all the keys that we have used. I want you to practice them by heart, because if you don't have a firm grasp of what we have learned in the previous sections and lectures, you won't get along easily in this part of the course. So again, I need you to have very much practice as much as you can in the previous lectures and to go through all the examples that we did and to go through sample files of your own and to try to practice by heart all the examples we have handled in order to follow easily in this section and the sections that will follow. Now let's start the lecture. This section is called Advanced Usage. You will here learn more advanced usage of VI and more useful ways and shortcuts that can make VI even more powerful. In the last lecture, we learned that we have some navigation commands that are used primarily to navigate through a file in VI. We learned how to navigate by screen, by paragraph, by line, by block of text, and other ways to navigate a file. And we said that this sort of navigation is only suited for reading or scanning through a file. It cannot be used for editing. However, if you combine them with a change command or a delete command or any of the editing commands provided by VI, they can become powerful shortcuts. For example, we learned that capital H moves the cursor to the top of the screen. So what if you want to use this combined with a change command, for example? So let's have a look at our sample file. As you can see here, I have chosen for this time a typical HTML page. If you are familiar with web development or with the internet in general, maybe you have stumbled across an HTML code before. If you haven't, you don't have to be very familiar with HTML. Just consider it like a text file that you are editing. HTML may be a special type of text file that it has some special symbols called tags. These tags are what signifies an HTML page. Okay, now I'm using the VI commands to navigate through the file. And what if I am at this line and I press C followed by an H? If you recall, H is used to make the cursor navigate to the top of the screen and not to the top of the file. Okay, and because this is a small file, so the start of the file is the start of the screen. And here I used C followed by an H. Let's see it again. C followed by an H has deleted all the lines that were before the cursor and moved the cursor to the start of the screen and put me in the insert mode where I can insert any other text I want, like this, for example. Okay, so what if I want to delete? Okay, it will be the same, just D followed by an H, and this time you are not in the insert mode. If you can have a look here, we are not in the insert mode, we're still in the command mode, and we can make further changes to the file. The same thing holds for L. Okay, if you recall, the capital L lets the cursor move to the very bottom of the screen. So if I combine it with a C or a D command, it has the same effect as the top. Okay, now what if you want to change a file or a line in the file, let's say this line, but we want the change not to exceed a specific character number in this line. For example, let's say we want to change till the start of this character, which is the start of the URL itself. We would just change the text before the URL. So we learned that this character is character number 9. So let's say C9 and the pipe sign. As you can see, we have changed all the text that was before the URL part of the link. Okay, now we can add new text if you want to. Okay, we can add, it won't make any sense to add the href again, but it may become handy in some other tags. And remember also from our last lecture that we used the slash to search for text. So, for example, search for support. Okay, and the cursor is placed at the first occurrence of support. So what if you want, maybe you are here and you want to change all the text from this point forward to the first occurrence of the word support. So we can use C followed by slash support. Okay, and as you can see, it changed it, or it deleted actually all the lines that were after the cursor right to the start of the first occurrence of the word support. And you are in the insert mode. You can enter HTML text here as you please until this occurrence of support. And perhaps one of the most useful change commands that are combined with the navigation movement is this one. Let's have a look. Now, what if you want to change the URL inside these quotations? And this is very, very common in programming and in HTML web development in general, that you change the contents of a tag or the contents of an attribute of the tag. For example, here, maybe this website is wrong. Maybe it has a typo. Maybe I change it and I want to change it with the least amount of typing. So if you recall from the last lecture that we're going to use T followed by the character that I want to go to, it replaces the cursor right before that character. As you can see, when I press T followed by the quotation mark, it placed the cursor right before the quotation mark. And in the previous lecture, I told you that this may become handy when you are working with files that need to change characters that are inside tags. So let's observe this. CT followed by the quotation. It left me with an empty quotation where I can enter another URL easily enough. Okay, so as you can see, with the minimum amount of code, with the minimum amount of keystrokes, I have changed text inside the quotations. If you can see how much this can be tiring if I wanted to change it the normal way. For example, I can change it like this. Change word and then repeat and repeat and repeat. You see how much the much keystrokes I have used, or perhaps I can use the X. Even it will be even more hard. It will be harder if I use the X. Okay, to delete between the quotation marks. But this technique is the fastest one. It's just 1, 2, and with 3 keystrokes I have successfully changed all the text that is between the quotation marks. Okay, but sometimes you want to delete all the text including the quotation marks. For example, maybe this href of course all of it is wrong and I need to change it. Maybe it's not an href. Let's see another thing. For example, let's see this. Okay, I want to change this tag altogether. I don't want this tag. I don't want it to be an A. I want it to be, for example, something else. Maybe just a plain text and not an href, not a hyperlink, if you are not familiar with this HTML terminology. So this time I cannot use the T, because the T will place the cursor right before the ending tag. So let's see. If I use T followed by the angle bracket, it will place me here. So the correct movement command I have to use is the F. Yes, like this. And if combined with the change command, it will have this effect like this. Okay, as you can see, it has deleted the whole tag, and I can place this text like plain text, mail@example.com. You see the point here? I can delete either text inside tags, and this is very useful in programming in HTML, as I said, or I can delete the whole tag altogether, depending on which movement command I'm using, which navigation command I'm using. Is it the F or the T? And again, and as you are already used to, we can combine these commands with a number in order to execute them the specified number of times. However, I didn't see a lot of people using the numbers in these change commands, because a change command in itself combined with a movement command is powerful enough not to be combined with a number, but it's an option and it's available to you. Now let's move to another important aspect of VI, and let's leave the editing and changing files for a moment and see other ways to open a file in VI. As far as we have seen till now, we can open a file using, as we said, vi followed by the file name, or open to vi and then type in the text that we want and then save it and name the file while we'll save. But what if we want to open a file and move to a specific line just after we open the file? The debugger or whatever code editor you're using told you that you have an error in your HTML file, and this error is located in line number 5. So the normal way of doing things will be vi index.html. I've opened the file and press 5, then G. Now I'm at the line that is containing the error. But what about a faster way to do this? I can do vi plus 5 and index.html, and voila. When I open the file, the cursor automatically moved to the 5th line, as you can see here, the 5th line of the code. And this will be very handy when we want to quickly move to the line that has the error. Another way to open a file in vi might be this one. If you use the plus sign without any numbers, the cursor will be placed right at the bottom of the file. It should be placed at the start of the last line in the file. Okay, so this is another shortcut for you if you want to move to the last sentence in a file. Perhaps you want to continue editing this file, you want to add some more text, and you don't want to start at the start of the file and then press Shift G to go to the end of the file and then press O to start a new line and enter. You want to do this all in one move. So this might be very handy. If you use the plus sign without any arguments, you will be at the start of the last line in a file. Now the second one is even more powerful. It will let you open vi and place the cursor at the first occurrence of a search term you are going to provide. So let's say you want to open vi and start searching for a term, and you want immediately to move the cursor to that term to start editing it or changing it the way you want. So vi provides this way of opening a file. It's a plus, and then let's say I'm searching for support in index.html. When I press enter, I can see here that the cursor is placed at the start of the line that contains the first occurrence of the word support. Now I'm free to do whatever I like with this line in an easy way, instead of opening the file and then searching for support and then moving the cursor to the start of the line to start my editing. So this will be very handy. Now imagine that you have a large file and you have left your location. For example, let's say we are here. Okay, you have edited this file and you have stood here in this line, and you want to go for lunch. You want to close your file because you cannot leave it open for security reasons. But when you want to get back, you want to see the last change and to start working from that last change. You don't want to open the file and to start working where I was, and then to see that you have been here at line 5. Maybe this won't make any sense in this rather small file, but you have a large file containing thousands of lines, and you want to return to where you were before you left the file. So this last technique can be very useful if combined with a little trick. All what you have to do is place a string that is well known. For example, I am here. Okay, like this. This string, make sure just that this string is not repeated anywhere in the file. Use something that is unique enough not to be repeated in the file. Okay, I will save. Okay, and let's say I want to open the file and return to the last location I was working at, which is I am here. Capital. It's case sensitive. And if I open the file, I will be at the first character of the line that where I wrote I am here. I can just delete this and continue working with the file as I want. This might be used as a bookmark, and we are going to discuss bookmarks later in this section, but this may be a very easy way to mark a bookmark for you in order to return for it when you close the file and you want to reopen it again and continue from where you left. Now another way to open a file in VI is called the read-only mode, and this mode is very useful when you want to view a file and you don't want to make any changes accidentally to the file. For example, maybe you are viewing the file and accidentally you keystroke an I and followed by an L, for example. It happens a lot. If you use VI a lot of times, you will see that because probably almost every single key in the keyboard might be a shortcut for something that does something in VI. Maybe you want to be in a fail-safe mode that you are sure you don't want to make any accidental changes to your file. So VI provides you with this shortcut. It's -R capital. And when you use this, if you have a look here, it tells me that index.html is open in read-only mode. This means that whatever changes I'm making here will not be reflected in the file. Okay, if I try to exit here, okay, I have to use Q and an exclamation mark to force me not to save changes. Okay, but of course, if I want to save those changes, and if I have the appropriate permission to do this, I can do that easily, as you recall, by using WQ followed by an exclamation mark, and it saved the file overriding this read-only mode. Another shortcut for this is to use view. Okay, view is a like an alias or a shortcut for VI in the read-only mode, and as you can see, it's opened in the very same fashion that the VI -R has used. It's opening in a read-only mode. Let's delete this gibberish. Okay, and I'm saving overriding the read-only mode.